All right, let's see how sharp you really are. 10 questions, no hints, no second chances. I'll give you the statement. You decide, fact or fiction? Think fast, trust your instincts, and keep score, because this one gets tricky. Most people think process mapping is simple, but process failures cost businesses millions every year. So let's find out if you can separate operational facts from fiction. Ready? Let's test your knowledge. Question 1, here's your first statement. Every process map must include decision points. The answer is fiction. Not every process requires branching decisions. Some workflows are completely linear. For example, a nightly automated backup process may simply follow a fixed sequence without any decision-making at all. Decision points only appear when the workflow can move in different directions. And knowing when not to overcomplicate a process map is actually an important skill. Question 2. Next statement. Process mapping can help identify hidden inefficiencies in a business. The answer is fact. This is one of the biggest reasons organizations use process mapping. When workflows are visualized, companies often discover delays, duplicated tasks, unnecessary approvals, and communication breakdowns. Sometimes a single process map explains why projects constantly miss deadlines. That's why process mapping is heavily used in operations, governance, IT, finance, healthcare, and manufacturing. Question 3. Let's continue. A process map and a workflow diagram are exactly the same thing. The answer is fiction. They're similar, but not identical. A workflow diagram usually focuses on task movement. A process map often goes deeper. It may include systems, ownership, inputs, outputs, risks, approvals, timelines, and controls. In larger organizations, process mapping becomes part of governance and oversight. Question 4. Pay attention to this one. Complex process maps are always better because they contain more detail. The answer is fiction. Overcomplicated process maps can actually reduce clarity. If nobody understands the map, nobody uses it. The best process maps balance detail with usability. Strong organizations often create layered maps, a simple high-level version for leadership and detailed operational versions underneath. Simple doesn't mean weak, it means effective. Question 5. We're halfway there. Process mapping is only useful for large corporations. The answer is fiction. Small businesses may benefit even more from process mapping. Why? Because smaller teams often rely on undocumented knowledge. And when one employee leaves, critical operational knowledge disappears. Process mapping creates consistency. It improves onboarding, and it helps businesses scale more effectively. Even a small company can benefit from mapping customer onboarding or invoicing workflows. Question 6. Let's raise the difficulty. Process mapping is commonly used in compliance and audit activities. The answer is fact. Auditors and compliance teams rely heavily on process mapping. It helps identify approval paths, controls, segregation of duties, and operational risks. In regulated industries, process documentation may even be mandatory. Without clear visibility into workflows, organizations struggle to prove oversight, and that creates serious governance risks. Question 7. This one separates top thinkers. Two process maps can achieve the same goal, but one may still be more effective than the other. The answer is fact. Not all process maps are equally efficient. One process may contain fewer delays, clearer ownership, better automation, or reduced bottlenecks. Two workflows can achieve identical outcomes, but one can save enormous amounts of time, money, and effort. That's why organizations continuously optimize operational workflows. Question 8. Stay focused. The most efficient process is usually the one with the highest number of workflow steps. The answer is fiction. More steps do not automatically create better outcomes. In fact, too many workflow stages often create delays, confusion, duplicated effort, and unnecessary approvals. Efficient processes focus on clarity, speed, accountability, and outcome quality. The best process maps eliminate waste. They don't add complexity. Question 9. Almost there. A process can have multiple outcomes depending on conditions, decisions, or user actions. The answer is fact. This is one of the core reasons decision points exist. A single workflow may produce multiple outcomes depending on approvals, failures, exceptions, or customer responses. For example, a loan application may be approved, rejected, or sent for additional review. Process mapping helps organizations understand every possible path, and that visibility improves operational control. Question 10. This is the ultimate test. Organizations that fail to understand their own processes are more vulnerable to operational failures and security risks. The answer is fact. This is absolutely true. When organizations don't understand their workflows, they lose visibility. And when visibility disappears, risk increases. Poorly documented processes can lead to missed approvals, failed controls, inconsistent actions, operational breakdowns, compliance violations, and cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Modern businesses rely on process mapping to understand how information, systems, approvals, and responsibilities move across the organization. Process visibility is operational survival, and companies that ignore it often discover problems far too late. All right, how did you do? Drop your score in the comments. Be honest. 8 or more? You probably understand operations better than most people. Less than that? Now you know why process mapping matters far more than people realize. Hit like, subscribe, and come back for the next challenge. Because the organizations that understand their processes are usually the ones that stay ahead.